Good evening. Day 71. This is basically our video to be on schedule again. So today is the actual day 71. As I kind of anticipated, I have a rest day of running today. Yeah, so this morning I walked Ruby. We went for probably like 45 minutes to an hour for a walk, roughly around that time. I was like 3 kilometers or so. But yeah, when you walk a dog, it usually goes, you know, she's sniffing, she's doing things. So yeah, it took us like 45 to an hour roughly. Then I had like a big breakfast, which was yogurt. So I had 200 grams of yogurt. I had raspberries, grapes as a topping. I had a bit of granola, just like 20 grams of granola, drizzle of honey, sprinkle cinnamon, and 3 eggs. So that was my breakfast this morning. Then yeah, I went to work relatively early. It was like 9 when I left. I arrived at work at like 9:30, 9:35. Had a coffee at work, on my way to work, and then I started basically working from like 9:45, roughly around that time. So like I said this morning or yesterday or whatever in one of the videos, today is a stock take day at work. So for me it was a very long day. I had actually, yeah, my shift just finished, so I was like 9:45 to pretty much 8:30 now, so it's like 11 and a half hours roughly around that time. I did 16,500 steps so far. Not sure if I still have to walk my dog. My partner, she did it, but sometimes she obviously just goes for like a quick walk, or I have to go for like a you know, quick around the block with her. The plan would be just to do like a bit of, you know, stretching and kind of like what I usually do, ease into the night, and yeah, like just, you know, using the foam roller. What I like to do, because I go through the TB12 method, you know, I'm reading through it, you know, working on that pliability piece. So I'm using resistant bands and, you know, just try to yeah, do a bit of, you know, movement, stretching, body weight, like squats, yeah, kind of like giving myself like a bit of a massage, and like I said, work through like a bit of that pliability piece. That's part of the evening routine, or like what I usually do these days. But obviously, you know, I'm just started. I'm not an expert by any means. That's something I'm gonna do, and then I'm just gonna read like a little bit, because my bedtime is usually around 10 or so, like 10ish. Like after 10 I usually probably fall asleep, I would assume. Yeah, and then it gives me like, depends on like when I wake up. I usually aim for like at least 6 hours of sleep. But yeah, it depends really. Besides that, that's kind of like what's gonna happen. Oh, and then I also had, at work, the boss had like a bit of treats and things like that for, you know, us who are working on the stock take. And then we had some Porto, so it's like, you know, just I had some chicken and yeah, some treats, maybe like a handful or so, and then yeah, just had some roast chicken, which was quite nice. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna go home, I'll do whatever I have to do, and then that's it. One thing I like to do tomorrow is I will be starting early. So I spoke to my team, and because I'm fairly new to the business, apparently, like, you know, we have to be there at like 7 a.m. Unfortunately, my store manager or my line manager hasn't spoken to me, so that's probably a good piece. Again, like, where it comes to like communication, we cannot like always assume that everyone knows everything, whether I'm a manager in the business or not, whether I am competent in my job or not, and whether I have common sense or not. But every business functions differently, and every business does things differently. So in the business I'm working at, my line manager should take me aside and be like, hey, you know, that's what's going to happen. Like, we would go through and do X, Y, and Z. And therefore I'm informed and obviously have received the communication and the information to, you know, do my job. Because if I get then team members asking me, it's like, oh, are you coming in tomorrow at 7? And I would be like, no, why would I? Like, you know, I haven't been rostered for a 7 a.m. start. And no one has spoken to me about a 7 a.m. start. I find it quite important, like I said, to have those type of conversations, just to, you know, give me a heads up. It's not like I don't want to do this and someone has to ask me for permission, but I find it quite important to have that mutual respect, as well as like a bit of courtesy, to give me a heads up and give me all the information I need to, you know, fulfill my job. Because I find it more than annoying, as a leader, standing in front of my team to be like, oh yeah, I'm there at 7 and I even, you know, don't even know what's going to happen. So I find it more important actually to be informed, not to know everything, but like, you know, to have the knowledge, or like at least the information, and then you know, be able to be competent and confident in front of your team. But yeah, that's just a side note. So yeah, T71, we're finally on track. Next video tomorrow, day 72. So another few days to go, and then we are done with that challenge.